Hey, everybody. Thanks for practicing with me today. I know we had some scheduling hiccups, so I appreciate everybody's flexibility. And if you're just catching this at another time, then just thanks for doing it. Today we're working a lot on core stabilizers and back strength and some oblique strength. But first, let's get grounded. Arrive on our mats. Take your feet out wide and let your hands slide down your legs, thumbs on the inside, fingertips on the outside. You want your feet to be underneath your hips, not on the inside of them, and we'll just subtly sway from side to side, gently pressing your knees in the opposite directions. Just take a moment to breathe, feel the ground beneath your feet. Let yourself be supported by your arms here. And let's come to center. Draw navel to spine, coil in through center, round through your back. Think cat pose. And on your exhale, press your right knee away. Think cow pose. Look towards your left. Inhale, draw through center, cat, round your back. Let's go to the same side today. Press your right knee away, look towards your left. Inhale, draw through center, core engagement, spinal flexion, and then spinal extension as we look to the left. Inhale through center. We'll do the same thing to the right side. Press your left knee away. Inhale, draw in. Exhale, lengthen through your spine. One more time. Exhale, press your knee away. Let's come back to center. Straighten your legs. Turn your toes towards each other. Interlace your hands behind you. Straighten your arms. Move your hands away from your hips. Broaden across your collarbones. Ooh, get a few pops in. Lift up through your sternum. Slight bend in your knees. Hinge forward from your hips. Arms come up and over. Keep a good bend in your knees here and soft through your neck. Shake your head yes and no. I advise maybe trying straightening one leg, bending the other, finding Skandasana in this forward fold, finding stretch in the insides of your legs, outsides of your hips. But if stillness calls you today, let that be your option. Take a couple more breaths here. And then come back to center. Gently release your hands to the earth. Walk your hands out until they're underneath your shoulders and the weight is towards your toes. So your weight isn't back in your heels. If you need to take a slight bend in your knees or any kind of bend in your knees, go ahead and do so. Leave your hands where they are. Turn your elbows forward so your elbows will point, or your inner elbows forward so your elbows will point back as you fold forward, hinging from the hips, keeping your spine long. Now on your way up, tuck your chin. We'll just come up halfway. Lengthen through your spine. Extend your heart forward. Exhale, fold forward. Elbows point straight back. Inhale, use your strong back halfway. Lengthen. One more time. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chin tucked as you come up, then lengthen through your spine. Now exhale, fold forward, take your hands to the mat, and we'll step into downward dog. Hands as wide as your shoulders, first finger in line with the outside edges of your mat. Bend one knee at a time, stretch the backs of your legs. Check in, do a little audit with how things feel today. As always, taking that audit without passing any self-judgments. Just simple observances. Like, oh, okay, this side feels different than the other side. And once you feel like you've taken a proper scan, come to some stillness. Let's take a grounding breath together. Deeply inhale. Exhale out your mouth just once. Next, inhale, lift your heels above your toes. Tuck your chin, lift the space behind your heart like you could press it up towards the ceiling. Roll forward, shoulders arrive over wrists. Press a lot into your fingertips. Again, draw navel to spine. Turn your creases of your elbows forward and point your elbows back as you lower all the way to the mat. So I said we'd be working with back strength today. So instead of our cobra pose, we're going to take a different version of things. First back bend we'll take is a version of locust pose, and I'll have you interlace your fingers behind your back. Keep your feet pressed down for this one. So you're going to press all 10 toes into the earth, feel your knees lift, then reach your knuckles back, reach your heart forward, and use your back muscles to lengthen your spine and lift yourself up off the earth. Now exhale, release. Let's take one more. This time your feet will come up. And instead of interlacing your hands, you're going to reach your fingertips back, thumb points down. Reach up through your heart, reach back through your legs, and lift your legs from the glute. And release. One more. This time hands reach forward. And you'll turn your palms down, pull your elbows back as you lift your heart, and open up your arms like goalposts. Feet press down or press back, lifting from the glute, and release. But you can feel the muscles in your back coming online. Now, either through plank or knee plank, come back through plank or knee plank to downward dog. Take another breath, inhale, and exhale out your mouth. Lift your right leg straight back, inhale. Exhale, draw your knee into your chest. Place your right foot next to your right thumb. Ground your back knee. Inhale your arms forward and up over your head. Hips move down and forward. Palms come together. Exhale, hands through center. Place your hands on the mat. Tuck your back toe. Step into plank and then hang with me here because we're going to work our core in through our namaskars and our wave portion of class today. So engage your shoulders by pressing fingertips into the mat. Tuck your chin. Round just your upper back. Pull navel to spine without lifting your hips. And then lengthen out. Take heels to the right. Come through center. Heels to the left. Come through center. One more plank pulse, chin to chest. Back to straight. Elbows point back as you patiently lower to the earth. Taking cobra pose, reach your hands back, thumbs point down. Heart reaches forward, feet reach back and up. Release, hands underneath your shoulders. I said cobra pose, I meant locust pose. Plank or knee plank. Back to downward dog. Inhale, left leg. Reach back. Exhale, knee to chest. Pull up towards you. Shift forward, foot to thumb. Ground your back knee. Sweep your arms forward. Bring your palms together. Lift your heart. Exhale, hands through middle down to the mat. Tuck your back toes. Step into plank. Once again, chin to chest. Round upper back. Lengthen out. Heels to the right. Keep your hips the same height as your shoulders. Heels through center. To the left. Back to center without lifting your hips. plank pulse, and then back to the earth. Your version of locust, any of the three we started out with, release, hands under your shoulders, and back to downward dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, pull your knee in through center. Place your right foot next to your right thumb. Ground your back knee. Sweep your arms forward. Heart lifts. Exhale, hands through center, hands to the mat. Step back into plank. This time, changing it up a little bit. Widen your stance slightly with your feet. Keep your hips level as you bring your left hand to right shoulder. And then right hand to right shoulder. Let's do each one more time. Left to right and right to left. Feel those core stabilizers turning on. And then come back to the earth. Locust pose. Back strengthen. Release. And then back to downward dog. Left leg, breathe and lift. Exhale, strong core, hug knee in, foot to thumb. Right knee lowers. Hips move down and forward. Hands come over your head. Exhale, palms to the mat. Step back in to plank. We'll do that same movement. Once again, right hand to left shoulder, left to right. Again, right to left, and left to right. Elbows point back and come to the earth. Locust pose, thumbs point down, reach energetically through fingertips and toes. Release. Come through plank to downward dog and hold. We'll hold here for a few breaths. This is your only responsibility right now, is breathe. Stay with this moment. And then bring your knees down to the mat. Widen your knees, bring your big toes together, send your hips towards your heels. A moment in child's pose, either with your hands reaching forward or behind you. See if you can ground your forehead into something. And take a moment to examine the space of your mind and what the conditions of your mind are like in this moment. And how the conditions might be influencing how you show up. All right, from child pose, come to hands and knees. Let's take just a couple cat-cows. Press down into the earth. Pull your navel towards your spine. Really press your hands down and let your shoulder blades wrap around the sides of your upper body. Then lengthen your spine by reaching your hips back, heart forward. Pull your hands towards your knees to help with the extension. Exhale, abdominals do the work here in cat pose. Inhale, the back does the work through cow. Let's hold in cow. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees and come back into downward dog. Another cleansing breath, just one. Inhale. Exhale, mouth open. Use your breath to lift your right leg. Inhale, sweep back. This time, let your leg open as much as you can. Bring your heel to your glute. Left heel presses down, right knee presses up. Square your shoulders. So this is about the hip opener rather than the back bend right now. And on your next exhale carefully with control. Pull your knee in through center and place your right foot between your hands. Ground your back knee and turn on your knee to come into this sort of kneeling pose with an open hip. Straighten your leg and point your right toes forward. Then extend your right hand down your right leg, so you're starting to lengthen through your left side, and sweep your left arm across the horizon up and over. You're going to feel more stretch, so lean more towards your right. Feel that space between your left shoulder and left hip opening up, and turn your pinky down. Left shoulder blade rolls back. This is gate pose. Let's add some movement. On the exhale, left hand goes to the left, right hand lifts up and over. Just barely place a fingertip on the earth. Inhale or exhale, come back over. Right hand reaches down towards your right foot. Left hand reaches up and over. Let's come back to the left. Use your strong obliques, not the earth, to support you. And without pushing off the ground, we'll come back to the right one more time, or we do have one more. All right, now last time to the left. I lied about that too. There will be one more time. We'll go to the right again here. Big stretch through your left side. And now place your left hand on the mat, all the way on the mat. You can use the earth as support this time. Shoulders start stacked. And lift your right leg, kind of like you're doing Ardha Chandrasana with a knee down. Now bring your heel towards your glute and grab a hold of the outside edge of your lifted foot. Keep your foot in line with your hip. And notice how if you turn your shoulders down, your foot will lift. So we want it to stay even, so you can help that by keeping your shoulders stacked. Keep your knee even too. Now by pressing your shin back and lengthening your heart forward, I'm about to lose my earbud, there we go. You come into this nice back bend and Kapinjalasana variation. To come out of it, we'll release your top leg, right arm over, ground your back foot, and we'll pinwheel all the way back to the front of the mat. Place both hands on the outside of your front foot. Lift your back knee. Step into plank. Draw navel to spine. And return all the way to your mat. Taking a variation of locust pose that we've already done. Interlace your fingers behind you. Knuckles reach back, heart reaches forward. Lift your legs off the mat. Spinal extension, lots of activation through center of your body. And release through knee plank or plank back to downward dog. Inhale your left leg. Back and up. Open up through your hips. Square your shoulders. Right heel pressing down, left knee reaching up. Big stretch through your leg here. It's one of my favorites. On your next exhale, strong core to help bring your knee through center. Lift as you shift and place left foot between the hands. Ground your back knee, pivot on your right knee to bring your foot behind you. We come up into this kneeling pose. Then straighten your front foot, toes point forward away from your body. Might be at a slight angle. Start by sliding left hand down, left leg, right arm sweeps. Let's go across the horizon again. Turn your pinky down and roll your right shoulder back. Looking to expand the space between right armpit and right hip here. All right, let's add some movement. Right hand floats down to the earth. Use strength and patience. Right fingertips just barely touch the earth. Left hand reaches up and over. Again, not without pushing. We come back to Parigasana. Pinky turns down, left shoulder rolls back. With strength, determination, left arm up over. Strong obliques carry us back to Parigasana. One more round here. Hand to the earth, left hand extends. Back to Parigasana for the last time. Pinky turns down, shoulders roll open. And then right hand comes all the way to the earth. Left hand stretches up towards the sky, shoulders stack. Left ribs may have to roll back there. Now you can lift your left leg, Ardha Chandrasana, on with a knee down. Bend at your left knee, grab a hold of the top or the outside edge of your left foot. You might notice again just how if you turn down, your foot lifts. So keep your shoulders stacked here, knee and foot and hip all in the same line. And then press foot into hand, hand into foot. Press your shin back and think about lengthening from your knee all the way to your sternum. And then use the strength of your back to help create extension in your spine that adds to the flexion or the extension, the stretch that you're feeling. And then we'll release, extend leg and arm, ground your left foot, pinwheel back to the front of your mat. Whee! Both hands to the earth. Tuck your back toes, step into plank. With control, come down to the mat. And find freedom and strength at the same time here with Cobra. Fingers can either reach back or interlace. Broaden across your shoulder blades. Either way, use the strength of your back. Lift your legs a little higher. Release. Hands underneath your shoulders. In through plank or knee plank. Back to downward dog. Inhale your right leg straight back. Reach up through your heel. No open hip this time. Exhale, knee through center, lift. Place right foot next to right thumb. Bend in your left knee. And then press into the earth. Hands sweep forward. Rise up into crescent. Clasp your hands behind you. And we have this bend in our knee intentionally. For one thing, we're going to use it in our movement, but also it allows us to keep our lower ribs drawn in. So I want you to feel your lower ribs here. Make sure that you're pulling them in. Now interlace your hands behind you. And as you extend through your left leg, think about more lifting through your left thigh and try to keep your lower ribs drawn in the whole time. Exhale, draw hands to hips. Inhale, lift from thigh. Pull lower ribs in as you extend. Coil back into center. 2 more. Inhale, press left thigh up. Exhale, down. Last one. Lower ribs knit in. Exhale, coil into center. Keep your legs strong. Float your arms above your head. 1 big breath in. Exhale, hands through center, lift through your back leg as you lower. Bring both of your hands, actually, let's see here. Now, I'm gonna move my mat just a wee bit here so I can demo where we're headed. So we are going to come into Kapinjalasana pose, but you have options. So why don't you come into just a kneeling pose for a moment? Option number one is going to be the Kapinjalasana we've already done, where your foot is behind your knee. Next variation, try a balance challenge, would be to place your foot, well, maybe lifting your foot is a good variation, is to keep your foot parallel with your upper body. So that adds a little bit of stability challenge. The next level, so there's a third option today for our peak, and we'll start on our taking our heels to the left, would be to come into this via plank. And to do that, you want to make sure that your grounded hand is, we're going to come into it for via side plank. So you want to make sure that your grounded hand is in front of your shoulder. And then you stack your legs, lift your hips as high as you can. Draw your lifted knee in, grab a hold of your foot, and then just like we did in Kapinjalasana, press your shin back. Okay, so let's try whichever option sounds the most palatable for you today. I will go ahead and do Kapinjalasana full expression again to help maybe add a few cues. All right, so if you're coming into it from plank, take your heels to the left, find side plank, make sure your hand is far enough in front of your shoulder to help lift your hips up. Use your obliques and then draw your knee in towards you, grab a hold of your foot, look towards the top right corner of your mat as you press your shin back. Hips lift high. And when you're ready, carefully come back out, ground your knees. We'll take our hips from side to side here. If you did it from plank or not, it might feel good to just come back to your heels. Take a couple shoulder circles. Relax your wrists. Shake those out. And then we'll come back to downward dog and finish up on the left side. All right, from downward dog, cleansing breath, let's clear the slate before we come into this last side. Whole new chance. Lift your heels, lift your left leg straight back and up. One breath in. Exhale, draw your knee to your sternum. Shift forward and place left foot to left hand. Bend in your back knee. Press down, sweep your hands forward and up, hands over your head. Find your lower ribs. Use your lower abdominals to help pull them in. And then interlace your hands the awkward way behind you. Straighten your arms. And as you pull your arms away from your hips, lift through your right thigh, but keep your lower ribs drawn in so they're not flaring out. Exhale, coil in. It's a subtle movement. Inhale, shoulders draw together. Exhale, coil. Inhale, broaden collarbones. Exhale, coil in. One last time, inhale, keep your lower ribs drawn in. Exhale, coil. Release your clasp. Float your arms above your head. Palms together. Hinge from your hips, fold forward. Ground your back knee. So we know where we're headed. We're just going to go there together. So you're either coming at it from a kneeling Kapinjalasana or from full Kapinjalasana, which starts in plank. We'll go heels to the right and then side plank. I'm in a weird place here. Okay. Side plank, left hand lifts. You're probably already doing it. Draw your knee in, grab a hold of your foot, trust yourself. Press your hand down as you lift your hips and press your left shin back. A tip that would straighten your bottom leg a lot. And then release both hands to the mat. Release your knees. Take hips from side to side, cat-cow. The tip I was going to talk about is if you're working on this on your own, is if you place your foot against the wall, so you're perpendicular to the wall, you can use the support of the wall to help you get that full expression. Sometimes once you feel that, it's easier to get into it on your own. Okay, shake your wrists out. Shake your shoulders. We'll head into the completion portion of the class. Do some longer holds and some stretches. Let's start in downward dog. Inhale your right leg straight back, lift through your heel. Exhale, knee draws in, foot to thumb, and ground your back knee. Bring both hands on the inside of right foot and lower your hips down and forward. Your hands could just be here underneath your shoulders if this is enough sensation for you. Maybe you walk your hands forward to add a little more. Or maybe you bring your forearms to blocks or forearms down to the earth. We're going to be here for a few more breaths. I want you to just pay attention to your body breathing. Notice the physical sensations of your breath. And see if you can create a cadence of breath that is intentional and controlled, but not forceful. If you're on your forearms, walk your hands back in towards your feet. Take your right hand on the outside of your right foot. Lift. Oh, nope, keep your left knee on the ground and walk your right foot over towards your left hand. We're coming into pigeon pose here. So right knee comes down near right hand, and you might want to find Z pose, which means that your left knee will bend towards the outside edge of your mat. So that's a good option for you if you're feeling any impingement or pain in your right knee, is to bend your left knee. So if you're in pigeon, your hips are square, and you're trying to move your right foot away from your body as much as you can. So it's not in too close, but it doesn't have to be perfectly parallel with the front of your mat. And from here, you might want to come down to your forearms, or maybe even further, placing your forehead on the backs of your hands. Notice where you might be clenching or holding unnecessary tension. Often that comes up in our grip or in our forehead. See if you can both soften and accept and stay focused. Begin to walk your hands back in towards your legs. Now we'll tuck our toes, lift back knee, lift hips. Right leg comes up and over. Shake your leg, right leg out. The blood moving through your hip again. Return your right foot to the earth. Left leg, inhale back and up. Exhale, knee to chest, foot to thumb. Ground your back knee. Both hands on the inside of left foot. Hips move down and forward as much as you can. Then your options are hands underneath shoulders. Come out into a seal pose with your arms, or forearms to blocks or the earth. Begin to focus your attention on the spaces that come between your thoughts. When you think about mindfulness and meditation, the goal is not to clear our minds of thoughts, but become aware of when we're having them. Begin to walk your hands back in towards your foot. Heel toe your left foot to your right hand and take pigeon pose or Z pose. Perhaps coming down to your forearms or further. And truly do the work to stay present and stay here with your body. We don't just come to yoga to stretch. Come to connect with ourselves. But in order to do that, we have to listen. Begin to walk your hands back in towards your left leg, hands under your shoulders. Lift your hips, and then your left leg opens. Shake it out. Place your left foot back down on the earth. Both knees. Take your heels or your feet to the side, and we'll meet on the mat. Roll all the way back. Walk your feet to the outside of the mat and bring your knees together. Place left hand on sternum, right hand on abdomen. Take a quick body scan, see what could sink further into the mat. This is constructive rest pose. This is a great place to be after a lot of back bending, which we have done today. So I might recommend staying right here for Shavasana. But if you would like to extend your legs and it's safe for you and your back, it feels okay, go ahead and do that. Choose an option that allows you to connect with the assured support of the earth, an option that allows you to truly let go and release any tensions. Soften through your forehead and eyebrows. Release your jaw. Allow yourself to be held as you drift off into your Shavasana. Without moving a muscle or opening your eyes, simply become aware of the space around you. Begin taking small movements through fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Inhale, float your arms above your head. And on an exhale, bend your knees and roll to one side. Pause for a moment here in this moment of rebirth to examine the current conditions of your mind and what kind of lens might this allow you to see the rest of the day through. Press yourself up into a seated position, palms together, crown of your head lifting, sitting with dignity. Thank you all for taking the time out of your life to tell yourself that you care about you. And may you all be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with strength and ease. Namaste.